Hi, this is going to be a little video about dipping your pinch pots. Okay, so once your pinch pots get bisque fired and you want to come into the lab to pick them up, um, I just want to show you about dipping glazes, so that what you could do is plan an extra, 5-10 minutes where you could get your pinch pot here at the lab, and then I would let you in the lab to just very quickly dip your pinch pot in a glaze. These are our glazes. You can see here we've got some dark browns and blacks, a kind of lighter brown that breaks or changes color to a lighter brown when it's thick. We've got kind of a yellowish green, a celadon green, which is kind of a deep translucent green that's really pretty. We have weathered bronze, which is a nice matte glaze that's more green when it's thick and brown when it's thin. Turquoise, which has silver flecks in it, that's a really popular glaze. Our sky blue, which again when it's thin it's kind of greenish, and when it's thick it's blue. And then we have a white and a clear. Okay, the glazes melt at about 2,000 degrees, so they melt, they drip, they're glass, so you can't really control them. But they are great for covering up a surface like this. This is just a little pinch pot, and let me show you how to dip them. So what you should do if you want to try this dipping technique is pick out your color before you come into the lab, or at least have an idea. I'll have these test tiles out so you can see. But it'd be good if you had kind of an idea before you came in, because again, these are supposed to be quick visits in the lab, and I can't. I'm instructing you now, and then you could just do a quick thing in the lab. So to glaze a pinch pot like this, I'm just going to grab it. We've got tongs in the lab, and then I think I'm going to go ahead and do it in this red Temmaku test tile, which I'm going to show up a little bit. It has the name of it, Red Temmaku, on it. And then the bucket, we have these big buckets back here in the glaze area. Anyways, this is Red Temmaku, it says on the lid of the bucket and the side. And you want to make sure, because look at that color. It looks very different before you fire it than after you fire it. So, I hope you guys can see what I'm doing here. I've got it in the tongs, and I stirred up the glaze, and I'm just simply going to dip it in there and let it drip a little bit until, what happens is that it's going to dry really quickly. The bisque has been fired to 1875, and it's very porous, so it actually soaks in the liquid and the glaze and the glass components to form a glass very quickly. And then if you're patient, you can see now that it's already powdery to the touch, and it actually doesn't stick to my finger anymore. So that means I can grab it gently, and then go ahead, and I'm going to wash these tongs later. We have sort of a pre-rinse over by the sink, I'll show you. And so I'm essentially done. I can't just leave this on the shelf to be glaze fired though, because it's got glaze all over the bottom. And that would actually melt and adhere the piece to the kiln shelf, which would wreck your piece, and it wouldn't work for my kiln too well either. So what I have to do is take all the glaze. I've got a sponge here, nice damp sponge ready to go. And what I'm doing is I'm just wiping off the glaze. This red glaze is very messy. And don't wear all your white clothes to the lab when you glaze. Anyway, I can tell now that there's pretty much no glaze on the bottom. And then just to show you what the rest of the piece looks like. And now that's ready to put on the shelf and to be fired. Over the weekend is when we do the firing. And then you guys will get to see this transform into a pot that looks more like this.